Hi everybody, Lone Wolf here. Welcome to a game known as The Witness, a puzzle game where you are all alone on an island comprised entirely of puzzles. And somehow or one way or another, we are in a vault. So, let's get out of here. Also, this is a PC game, so this is my next adventure into PC gaming. So, here's a little taste of what we are going to be doing throughout the game. Yeah. Okay, WASD to move, mouse to move, mic to camera, shift to run, while holding WASD. Okay, so, now, I will have to tell you this much. This is not my first adventure into this game. I played it a little bit beforehand, just to see how good this game is, and I think it looks okay, to be honest. And I'm a whiz when it comes down to solving puzzles. If anything, I remember having to fix vases or fix bowls that shattered or broke back during my earlier days, and apparently I figured out how to assemble each and every piece. Mind you, there were some pieces missing because it's to be expected. Because when you're trying to assemble something that's broken, you're not going to get all the pieces. You're going to get as many of the pieces as possible. So chances are you're not going to be able to rebuild it to the way it was. Is pretty much the case. Now, in case if anybody is lost, in order to get past this entryway here, you have to do all these puzzles in order to unlock the gate. Now, these puzzles are definitely going to get harder. That is for sure. Yeah, as you just heard, one of the latches came off. So, we gotta get the other latches off in order to unlock this gate, and then proceed onward towards the island. Okay, right click to initiate the puzzle. Not that way. I think it was this way. Let's see. Yep. There we go. That's another latch. I know there's supposed to be one more. So, let's see if we can just find it, and there we are. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I'd like to think that this is similar to solving a maze. Or figuring out how to get out of a maze, per se. You start from point A to get to point B on these puzzles. And I just realized I did that puzzle wrong. Or I solved this wrong. So, some of these puzzles will tend to trick you. So, instead of connecting this piece, you want to get this area instead. And in doing so, you practically got rid of all three safety latches. So, nothing's going to stop us from solving this puzzle and getting out of this area. So, before we continue, you should take a gander at this. Look at how beautiful this island looks so far. I don't know why I was kept in a vault. I mean, I did none of these inhabitants of this island no harm. I only eat what I kill. And I sure as hell didn't kill any of these people. I woke up like this. It sucks you can't go off ledges, like in like basic other games. I'm too used to falling off ledges or like going down ledges, so in order to like get to certain areas, like, you know, taking shortcuts. Now, I don't know where this leads, to be honest. And that's a tough one for me, as I've not been able to finish this one at all. As you can see with these little dots here, and this is just from me doing like other puzzles on this game before recording, it is the idea that for these, there are some you have to connect the dots to in order to activate what you're trying to activate before reaching these goals. Right here. So, question is how I solve this puzzle, as that puzzle is difficult to go about here. We can't actually solve that puzzle just yet. Now, let's check this out. That's the problem with this puzzle right here. Yeah. The one thing that confuses me about this puzzle right here are these two square boxes outside of it. That's what we need to figure out. What? Okay. That was on the first try, honestly. Am I supposed to like wrap myself around these or something? That's the part I don't get. Yeah. There we go. This is where it gets harder. This? No. I'm guessing I'm supposed to wrap myself around these white boxes whenever I do these. That's the tough part when it comes down to these puzzles. So, yeah. What can you do, right? Alright, there's that one. Now, yeah, I know. Like this? Oh. Okay, so for these, I'm guessing I just have to wrap myself around these boxes. But it can't be that easy. If I were to just do this. Silly. I've never done this puzzle before, so I'm wondering what exactly am I going to unlock when I finish. Okay, so this one's going to be a doozy because I'm going to need to get this one. So, how exactly am I supposed to do this one? Yeah. What did that unlock? What exactly did solving this puzzle do? Usually when you're trying to solve a puzzle, or usually when you solve these puzzles, something actually happens to like your environment. I mean, opening a door, that's as basic as it gets, but supposedly when you the more puzzles you complete in like certain areas or in like certain places, you're bound to like unlock certain items or certain secrets about this island. Maybe as to the whereabouts of where everybody is. Okay, this one I know I've already done. So onward. Connect the dots. I have to be sure to get every single one of these dots before proceeding to the next panel. Like so. So, let's see here. There we go. What else is there? Yeah, this one is difficult. So, be that as it may, I have to figure out how to get this one down. Because if I go this way, you actually can't do this. Or this. You actually cannot do that. It's legitimately one line, you have to get to this goal. But in doing so, you have to get these along the way. So, you have to legitimately try to get to the goal with all these dots covered with this one line. Or think of it like a rat maze, where the rat has to collect every single slice of Swiss cheese on here before escaping the maze. Yeah. Typically, it's supposed to be like a goal as opposed to like like checkpoints. But I digress. So, this one. Alright, that one's more straightforward, but still, nothing seems to happen here. In truth, I never finished this puzzle before. I did dabble in it a couple of times, but I was never able to get like past that part. It took me a little bit of thinking. So, okay, that part's done. Now we can press forward. Look at the nice cherry blossoms, the sakura trees. Honestly, it's such a beautiful sight, don't you think? Okay, this is a challenge, and this one took me a lot of time to figure out. Now, take a good gander. This is very much reminiscent to these trees here. You see how it mirrors it ever so slightly. So, in order to solve this puzzle, you have to squint. You have to be sure to know where exactly you have to go. This is where it gets difficult, because sure, you solve this puzzle, but the next one, if you fail that one, you have to recomplete this one in order to reactivate that puzzle there to the point of where it causes a loop. So, here's what I know about this puzzle. Because the apple is on this branch, that's how I was able to solve this puzzle. Now, here's the next puzzle. It gets difficult because, as you can see, you have to look at it from a certain perspective in order to learn where the apple is. I mean, these are just obvious hints in order to solve this one, but it gets harder. It gets harder because once we get farther into this, there won't be such obvious hints to really go for. So you have to figure out how to actually solve the other puzzles on your own after that. So when I completed this the first time, I had to go through the process of elimination. Take every single path until you get the right one, which is pretty much the basic way for like any game. You choose the wrong path, restart. Choose the wrong path again, restart. Keep on choosing until you get the right path in order to proceed onward in any game. A little bit of memorizing here and there. So I'm going to say it is on this branch. As you can see where the apple is. Now, okay, here's where it gets tricky. Because you see, there is a different perspective here. Now, here are some key tricks. Now, as you can see, here's a broken branch right here. And there's a broken branch on here. Now, one thing I could try to do is count them. Count which branches, or figure out which branch based on the picture to get to where I need to go. Looking at this from a different perspective, I'm going to say that this apple goes right here. I tried to record this the other day. Unfortunately, to my own stupidity, I legitimately forgot to turn on my microphone. So it was just nothing but muted recording whatsoever, which is not what I wanted for this run through. I mean, there is a couple of downsides to this game. One of them has to be the fact that it doesn't have sound, aside from me walking. I can assume that we can unlock more as we continue on with this. Now, looking at it from a different perspective, this is where it gets this is where it's really tricky, because this is mirrored per se. So think about it like as if you're looking from this perspective right here. So you see the broken branch and you see where the apple is. Now, we know it's not this side, but it's this side that we have to go for. We see that this entire side is not here. But if I'm correct, yeah. This takes some extra viewing, extra perspective in order to get this right. 3, 7 branches, 8 over. 3, 7, 8 over. I was afraid that I was going to get that one wrong, because, like I said, if you get any of these wrong, or rather, if you just get that one wrong, it deactivates. You have to go back to this. You have to go back to your previous one and resolve it in order to reactivate it in order to retry. Now, this is where it's really difficult. I'm going to give you an example as to what you have to actually do in terms of what I'm actually talking about. So I'm just going to give you a simple one. As you can see, I solved that one wrong. So I have to go back here, reconnect it in order to reactivate, if anything. So I gotta tell you, it's difficult. Some of these are going to get even harder. And I did a little bit of exploring outside of this, and there is definitely going to be more and more difficult areas. Some of them you actually have to walk. You have to legitimately walk on like panels like these. Instead of doing the simplest item here, in some areas I will come across and show you of you having to go into a castle and walking on platforms before you proceed onward. You have to legitimately memorize it as you go along, which is very tough to do. So, yeah. This is a very tough one, because for this one I had to do the process of elimination, if anything. Because if you look, there's no apple on this tree. There's absolutely no apple. No apple whatsoever on this tree. I legitimately had to do the process of elimination in order to finish this one. And then proceeded onward here. Now, I tried looking around, but I guess this doesn't go anywhere. Last time I checked. I wonder what this is. I don't know who actually was on this island, and I don't actually know how many people were on this island, but this is clearly where like a doctor's office was, because human anatomy wouldn't just be here, just decaying from all the years of abandonment, just to be abandoned like this. Yeah. Human anatomy, unless if this was like a mad scientist's lab, or like a hospital, or like a nurse's office. Yeah, maybe y'all can clarify a little bit as to what this whole structure could have been, or what could it have been beforehand, because it baffles me on what these items were before some sort of cataclysm took place that destroyed all of this. Okay, I need to get back down there so I can check out this windmill. But let's see. Need to remember. We're gonna do that area next, but yeah. There's me. So, questionnaire. Where's my tail? My tail should have its own shadow. Okay, we did this part. But now we have to go down to the windmill and get that started. So, let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay. In case you don't know, this is in the shape of a windmill. There we go. Now, based on how everything's powered on this island, if I'm a betting wolf, I would have to say that this is powered by solar energy, next to wind power. No electricity should be on this island, in truth. So, all right, we want this one. And in solving that puzzle, we now have given this thing power. So expect this to keep on moving while we are in this game. Yeah. Look at this town. I mean, look at this. Who is this? How do we know who this is? Yeah. Alright, I don't actually know how to solve this one. So, if it's any similar to the ones we already have done, I'm going to assume that this is the way you do it. No, it is not. Okay, that is most certainly not the way to do it. How about if I do this? No, it is not. Yeah, that is a tough one for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we'll explore more of the town in a later video. But just like my Shadow of the Colossus video, this is just to test the waters. And speaking of water, you actually can't walk in it. I still think that's kind of dumb. I mean, that's water just big enough for your feet, or deep enough for your feet. So that should be no issue whatsoever. So let's see here. Next area will be here, but we can't access that until we get over there and power up whatever's over there. So onward. But I question what this was before whatever happened. Now, this one's pretty basic. It's very much symmetrical for these puzzles. But I gotta tell you, whatever this place was, it must have been a place for art. I mean, a lot of clay must have been used here for these. But near a dock? I mean, look at this. You can't even go and swim. They don't permit swimming here. I question why. Yeah, this one I did for sure. So, what makes this one difficult is the fact that you have to legitimately guide both lines to their proper places. So, you have to legitimately make sure that both are in here at the same time. Like so. But I like the symmetrical shapes that it makes, to be honest. Let's see. Through here, through there, through here, through there, and bring it on home. I like to see any of you try to guess what these lights are, per se, but... Okay, here we go. So... Up. Up some more. Okay, good. And this must be a balcony. But I wonder what this is right here. That's something we'll have to figure out. But yeah, see the symmetry in these items here that we just finished? I wonder what they all mean. I know this one looks like a tree. Like this one right here. But let's not Okay. Here's this puzzle. Very basic. Okay. And bring it on home. These look like pathways when you see them. What makes this one difficult is the fact you have to legitimately guide it, but the direction is very much different from the others. The rest were pretty straightforward. The reason why I was looking at this one is because once we get to this one, it's going to look pretty obscure. Okay. Alright, I'm already messing up. Okay, I can't go that way. Can't go that way either. And can't go that way. Okay, I can't go that way either. For anyone who likes puzzles as much as I do, what this game really requires is patience. Now look, this is exactly what I was saying by how obscure this looks. Look at the distortion on like right here. You'll see it more so when we get started. Okay, obviously I can't go that direction. I can go this direction. Like so. Up. And bring it on home. Alright, both of those are active. But I wonder what triggers this one. Okay, onward. Now that this area is powered, we should be able to access the other area. Okay. Just like before, connect the dots. Now, if you look closely, you could relate this to Tetris because of the shapes that it makes every time you complete one. Alright, we can't access that area yet. And to access it, you have to power up the other areas. Here's our starting point. You have to be symmetrical while also connecting the dots. Like so. There we go. And then the last one. And okay, that finishes that one. Oh, wrong side. Now they're putting in like colors. Like different colors. Now, what I noticed in like a later one is where things start to get more complicated at best. So let's see here. Gonna have to do this, this, and bring it on home. Alright, that one's more straightforward. Okay. Yeah, I have to get this one for sure. And there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah, that's not it either, because we're still missing a couple. There we go. Alright, here's where it's going to get harder, because like I mentioned before, you see how the light's getting more dim? Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one for sure. Okay. Okay, I got that one. Here's where the light's practically gone. I mean, look at how dim the light is now. That's what makes this a little more difficult to do. So, okay, there's that one. Yeah. Yeah, we can't proceed here because it's an invisible yellow line that is right there. Just right there. So it's not often that I have to use a mouse in order to do something like this. As I mentioned in previous videos, such as like Layers of Fear and Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm not much of a PC gamer, but I'm open to learning. Okay, there's that one. Alright, finishes that one. I really want to finish this before we before ending this video, because I actually want to show you. I actually want to show you all something. Now this right here is very difficult. It took me some time to solve, and apparently, when I solved this, what I realized is that these sides are a tad similar. They're definitely a little more symmetrical, but not entirely. See if I can try to do this all according to what I remember. Okay, that's the first one. Here is this one. Now, you actually cannot tell where all the items are on this one, because in order to solve it, you have to look at this one very closely. Now, what I used for this is, now, you can think of this as like an S, like right here, or like a 5, and then think of this like flipped over. Think of it as like a 2 or like a Z. That's one way to differentiate the two, as they're flipped, or kind of like a reflection per se. So next is this one. Simple connect the dots here, but for here, not so much. You gotta do it. You have to do this exactly in a similar fashion you did the last one. Here's a better way to tell it. It's and now that I look at it a little more better, take a gander at this. It looks as if it's pointing in the same direction. It's like both of them are pointing to this device here. So let's check this out. Here's the last one. My mouse pad's not big enough for really PC gaming, but it's big enough to perform these tasks. So, in order to solve this one, you have to look at this from a different perspective. So this is pointing this way. So in order to solve this one, you have to remember exactly what you did in order to solve the one behind you. There we go. And then we solve this. Now, watch what this does. This is what I was talking about earlier, involving like unlocking certain parts of the levels after solving these puzzles. So, I honestly don't know what this thing does, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Now, I know exactly where that light goes, but I really don't know what significance this holds, in truth. But this really does strengthen my theory that the actual primary source of power on this island is solar energy, because a lot of these look like solar panels, per se. So, it would be nice if I could figure out a little more about this game. It's a little difficult, but not too hard, truthfully. So I will have to remember this for sure. So... yeah. Alright, let's take a gander at where that light went. But look at how much there is left to do outside of what I just did. Mind you, this is legitimately less than an hour in a game. Of course, there's going to be more to do. This is the castle I was referring to earlier as well. We'll explore that in a later video. Now, I say later video. That heavily depends on whether you all want me to turn this into a series or not. Because, yeah, I know a lot of you view my Monster Hunter videos and give a lot of likes. I have to say a good portion of people who like my videos, in terms of like my Monster Hunter content per se, are from the Brotherhood. But I'm not a Monster Hunter YouTuber. I play a good assortment of games. And I'm just an observer. I'm someone who wants to explore. That's pretty much my primary reason for playing these games, is because I like to explore, I like to experiment, and more importantly, I like to have fun. This is what I wanted to show you. This is where that light hit, from all the way over there. Now, maybe a few of you in the comments could tell me what happened here. Because, look, it looks like they're photo shooting. One person looks like they're either they're the judge or they're doing something here. Maybe like trying to sell this off for a profit, whether this monstrosity is. We got two people right here. In my opinion, they look like they're just crying because they lost all the power to their PCs, and they're practically crying because they don't have anything else better to do. This right here is significant for later on. I don't actually know where this is yet, but I'm willing to explore it. But clearly there's secrets to this. And it looks like this person is trying to destroy this object, whatever it is. And then here's like a simple family feud, or a simple simple dispute. I would think it's like a wife and their husband, to be honest. Honestly, people in the comments, I would like to know. Out of every two forms of people out there, who do you think has like the most arguments in any form of life whatsoever? In my opinion, I think a good portion of those disputes involve like relationships. Mind you, I'm not good with relationships anyway. But it's fun to like ask these hard-hitting questions sometimes. But look at how much we can see off of this island. Look at this. And we have not even finished an area yet. We've just been exploring, going left and right. I do want to continue playing this game, but now there is a question I have for my Brotherhood, for my Wolfblood Brotherhood. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I don't actually know what it does, but I don't actually know what it did, but I know it's important. Now, my question: what if I were to own this island? What if I founded the island, and what if I just came across this island where everyone else pretty much died, and there was legitimately no reason, or we had no idea about their disappearance? But what if, per se, I invited every one of my members of my Brotherhood to this island here, and I gave them each a different faction, a different area of this luscious land? Now, would you all want to share and live peacefully in your separate areas? Would you want to steal, go to war, and take all this for yourself? Or will you do what I do and contribute? Simple. You got a lot of desolate places here, and one of the things I would love to do, or at least in my opinion, is try to recreate everything. Now, in my case, I would have everybody in my Brotherhood assist in trying to build this place up from down under. Everything we catch and kill will be shared with everybody equally, and we all get to live our peaceful lives here on this island. That is until we can figure out a way to build a boat and, like, travel to other worlds, similar to Kingdom Hearts, in truth. I doubt any of my Brotherhood members would want a Keyblade. But I digress. To shorten my question, if I were to give every one of you, every one of my members of the Brotherhood, of my Wolfblood Brotherhood, a faction of this island, what would you do with it? Would you visit other factions and make peace? And just pretty much live as like happy neighbors? Or would you fight amongst yourselves and try to steal every bit of land as you can? Try to become a king of your own. As I'm not a king and I'm not a dictator, I'm just a leader. So I'll leave that question all up to you guys. So for your answers, please leave them down in the comments. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this is just another venture for me into PC gaming, and I am eager to try and continue playing different games on my device whatsoever. If you all want more of this game, feel free to let me know down in the comments, or feel free to drop a like on this video. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to drop a like, feel free to subscribe if you want more. And once again, if you all want me to continue playing this game and completing each and every area of this game, let me know down in the comments or drop a like. And with that, stick around. For if you all are yay instead of nay for this, stick around, as there is more to come in The Witness.